We are forging ahead in our mobility afternoon. We've been talking about logistics, we've been talking about data, we've been talking about aviation, and now it's time for you to tell me something. So, pop quiz, how did you get here today? Raise your hand if you walked. That's way more than I thought. Okay, you guys must live close by, that's cool. Raise your hand if you rode a bike. Okay, some. Raise your hand if you took a train. Oh, most people. Me as well. That's me raising my hand. Raise your hand if you drove. It's okay. You can admit it. It's fine. Okay. You're not in trouble. So our next keynote here is someone who's going to talk to us about the track to the future, the potential of railway automation. So all of us who took the train will have an even easier time getting here next year. Please welcome our keynote speaker, Dr. Daniela Gerd Markotten from Deutsche Bahn. Welcome.
So, hello everybody. Actually, I wanted to ask you the same question, but I saw already that the overwhelming majority of you came by train or metro. That is very good. And so my question to you is, who of you who came by train or metro focus on the traffic situation all the time? Most probably no one. And so you see, autonomous driving with Deutsche Bahn from a customer perspective is already there. So other modes of transportation still working on it, but from a customer perspective, we can just invite you, come in, sit down, relax. And now you could say, okay, mission accomplished, nothing more to do on rail systems, so why are we still pursuing autonomous driving at Deutsche Bahn and on the rail systems? And it's not, I can assure you, the cost-benefit topic, because you can imagine if we run with the ICE, it's about 700 passengers and one train driver, so it's not the cost aspect, but it is all about capacity. What we want to do for climate protection, and you know, it is the most sustainable mode of transportation, we want to double the number of passengers on rails. And so, because in Germany we already have a very dense network, so lots of trains running on the system. To give you an example, it's about 40,000 trains per day run on our 33,400 kilometers of tracks. And by the way, it's not only Deutsche Bahn, it's 400 different companies who run trains on this infrastructure. And if we say we want to double the numbers, capacity is key, and we want to create higher density. And that is why we need autonomous driving to put more trains on the same space of the infrastructure. So that is an important point, but there are two other important aspects. And the other thing is, if you talk about autonomous driving, you can save up to 30% of energy. And as we are at Deutsche Bahn the biggest energy consumer in Germany, it's not the chemical industry, it's Deutsche Bahn. I was surprised by that too, but it's a fact. So 30% of energy is quite something. And that is why we say, let's push forward autonomous driving. That is one thing. And the other thing is, we talk about labor shortage as well. It's quite difficult for us to recruit and qualify train drivers, and we see it in the long run that it will get even more complicated. So this is why we say autonomous driving is key for us as well. And now you can say, hey Daniela, we see it already in Copenhagen, we see it in Nuremberg, we see it in Shanghai. So why don't we see it in whole Germany? True answer is, these are all closed systems, metro systems, where all the trains run with the same speed and just in the same sequence on the track. What we see in Germany is a mix of different trains. So we have the ICEs, so the high-speed trains, we have the metros, and we have the cargo, so logistics. And we have fixed tracks. And in the beginning, I thought, as I'm from the automobile industry, fixed tracks make it much easier to go for autonomous driving. So where's the problem? But fixed tracks have an advantage and also a downside, because it's not that easy to overtake another train. And if you take into consideration that the braking way, so if we want to bring a train to a stop, and the train runs at 300 kilometers per hour, it will take up to 3 kilometers to bring the train to the stop. So that is the first thing. And the second thing is, you can imagine if we want to overtake another train, it can take up to several dozens of kilometers. And there are not so many switches on the way. It's 65,000. But anyways, so we have to keep in advance a clear route how to maneuver the trains to it. And that is why it's not so easy. But as you see here, we accept the challenge, no question. And to go a little bit more into technical detail, it's about lots of hardware. And if I talk about lots of hardware, that's literally the thing. And as there are most probably a lot of autonomous driving experts, what is important, what we need sensor and a train control system in the infrastructure, and one that speaks to the trains, so that train and infrastructure can speak to each other. That is one aspect. And to make that happen, we need to upgrade like 13,000 trains, not only with DB, but the whole railway sector. That is one thing. And we have to upgrade the infrastructure, and I already mentioned it. It's 33,000 kilometers that have to have built-in sensors. That is one thing. We also need perception systems so that every train can decide by itself, is there something on the tracks, should I brake, and these kind of things. And the third, and I wouldn't say most important, but very important aspect is that we have a high-speed connection, wireless connection based on 5G. And you know, my mobile networks, 5G is should be like everywhere. That is what we are working on it. And the nice side effect is, that is important to me, that we will build it to steer our trains anyways. So that is the plan. And the good news is, from a customer perspective, again, this 5G can be used by the customers to stream Netflix series or whatever you want. At the same time. So both of this can be used. We build the infrastructure only once, and the idea is to share this infrastructure with the mobile network providers. We're currently working on that. I said it's a lot of hardware that is needed, and that might take some time, but what is even more important, we also need lots of software, because you can imagine if you say 50,000 trains per day, and we have the 65,000 switches, and you have to plan all the ways and the overtaking maneuvers, that's quite something. And so we really work with high-performance computing here, and also, and that might surprise one or the other, quantum computing. Because we foresee that in the long run, and that is what I personally dream of, that will really go into like a real-time schedule for rails. And you can imagine from a customer perspective again, like you feel driving on a train is like autonomous driving for you because you can do whatever you like. It's the same here, that for you it should feel from a customer perspective like on demand. So whenever you need kind of a train, then the train will be available. How are we going to do that? There is a certain customer behavior, and system can recognize that. And so we can build the real-time schedule on this behavior. And so from a customer perspective, for you, it hopefully feels then as on demand whenever I need it, the connection is there. It might sound like a vision, but still it's important to me to have this vision and to work towards that. And so in the end, and that might surprise one or the other as well, and you can ask, is it somewhere else in the world that we have this autonomous driving on rails in mixed traffic situation? No, we don't have it. So we can lead the wave here. That is what we want to do. We do it already in Hamburg, and we will improve the Hamburg system even more. And you will see it as well in 2025 in Stuttgart. But still, there's way to go. But I'm more than eager to really lead the wave. And whoever is there who want to team up, because I'm a strong believer of collaboration, and it's not us alone to bring that forward, highly invited and welcome to partner and team up. And therefore, thank you very much, and have a great day. I'm looking forward to the panel now.
I am looking forward to the panel as well. I'm pleased that you're going to be staying here with us. Let's you and I take a walk to the front while they start setting up. I have a question for you, because you were saying train, it'll be like autonomous driving. What do you like to do when you're in the train? How do you spend the time?
Usually when I'm on my way to the office,
Yeah.
I start working.
Come on.
Yeah, it's using the time in the most efficient way. You know, I have a family,
efficient.
3 boys, and so I have to really, every minute counts.
Okay.
But on the way back,
Yeah.
it's about half an hour ride here in Berlin. Then sometimes I close my eyes and I listen to audiobooks.
Oh, that
is
sounds
quite
relaxing.
relaxing.
That sounds very nice. I might have to try that after today on my way home. It's a good tip.